Hi guys, for those of you that don't subscribe, my name's Alex and I live in this van with Marcela and our two dogs. We're currently in Tarifa where I've been for the past 3 or 4 months, chilling out here, doing a bit of kite surfing, etc, etc. But soon we're going to be going to the French Alps for the ski season. So watch out for that one, it's going to be damn good. Anyway, today I am adding more solar panels to our roof, mainly because I've had to remove one of them that was damaged and it's left us a little short of power. So I've got 2 more panels to go on the roof today. They're the semi-flexible type, which I know there's kind of mixed reviews on semi-flexible or the rigid, which one's better. Well, for me personally, I prefer the flexible ones. Some reasons for that, well, they're a lot lighter, and obviously that weight as well as with the rigid ones is going to be right high up on the roof, which is the worst place to have weight. You can't see them, so you maintain as much of that stealth look as possible. I know you guys love your stealthiness. I mean, the rigid ones originally were a lot more efficient and have a longer lifespan, but I've seen these flexible ones now with up to 25% efficiency, which I've not actually looked in depth, but I haven't seen any rigid ones up to that sort of that level of efficiency. I'm sure there is, but the point is the flexible ones are catching up with the rigid ones, and the lifespan, yeah, I mean, to be honest, the ones I have on the roof now, they have deteriorated a lot, and you can see a previous video on that. I'll put a link up here for that video on a way to fix, or to at least to get the most out of deteriorated panels. But the newer ones, they're doing some with the ETFE coating on, which apparently are meant to last a lot longer. Who knows? But another reason I like the flexible ones is I'm a fan of technology, and they're kind of a little bit more, it's the way things are going, and I kind of like to try and stay at the front of it, even if sometimes there's some compromises there. Anyway, enough of all that stuff, let's get on to fitting the panels. Are we going to be fitting some solar panels today? Are you going to help me, Sam? Are you going to help me? So the first thing you're going to want to do is test that your new panels actually work. We'll go outside now. It's a bit windy, so I'm not sure what the sound's going to be like. Hola! So I've just got the panels set out here on the floor. Okay, so then you just want to set your multimeter to volts, obviously. Make sure your black's in the COM for common and the red V for volts. These panels are 18 volts, so we should get a viewing of about 18 volts, a reading of about 18 volts. Now, I don't think you can see that on the camera because I can't even see the screen on the camera, but it's reading actually 19 volts is coming up there. We're lucky enough here that in Tarifa today it's nice and sunny, so we've got the sun and it's easy enough to check the panels. But if you haven't got the sun, if you're in the UK for instance, maybe get your mate to shine a torch. So here's my setup at the moment, and you can see that I've had to remove one panel here, and the problem with that one panel was it actually had a hole burnt in it. I sealed, see, you can see where I've took the tape off actually here. I could probably show you an old picture now, and you can see how it's sealed all around the sides. And I even sealed in between each panel. All this was sealed. I got a bit excited with it basically. One theory of what's happened is that I put these panels on the UK and there's moisture trapped in here, and then as soon as we got to Spain and it was like nice and hot here and the moisture tried to escape, it actually got through like maybe a micro crack that was already in the panel or made it worse, or even just cracked the panel and then caused a short circuit. The other theory of course is that it just overheated. I put these unnecessary blocks of wood there and then I taped all around it as well, so they probably were really hot. So this time we're going to do things different anyway. First of all, I'm going to remove this wood because it doesn't need to be there. And obviously you shouldn't really use wood unless it's treated as well, so it's going to last. But I think we should just be able to put the Sikaflex along these ridges and sit the panel on it, and that should suffice, no problem. So this time guys, we're going to make sure there's plenty of ventilation for moisture and heat to escape. The cooler your panels run, the better they'll be as well. Overheating panels can reduce the lifespan and also reduces the efficiency of them. So I removed most of that old wood. I'm going to leave these two just to add a little bit of support, because obviously the panel's going to come to here. This is an 80 grit sandpaper, quite coarse, so I'm just giving it a light rub just to roughen that surface up a bit.
Well, I'm just going to give these a real light rub. They've obviously been done before when I put the previous panel on, but just freshen that roughness up a bit. This bit here could probably do being a bit better, but I'm actually going to be taking these panels off again. Maybe next year. I want to upgrade the whole system, so these are just cheap temporary panels for now. Here I'm just using a cleaning solvent to clean the back of the panel and the whole area that's going to be in contact with the Sikaflex. Once the area is all clean, I'm adding the Sikaflex. Don't be shy with it, nice thick beads to get that good adhesion. Then I put the panel in place, and you can move it around a little bit on the Sikaflex to get it just in the right position. Apply light pressure on the contact points. Wipe off any excess Sikaflex with a rag. For the front panel, after sanding the area lightly as I did with the back, I clear again with the cleaning solvent and then apply the Sikaflex. The length of these panels falls just short of the corrugations, so as with the back ones I've put some little pieces of wood here to act as the contact points. The main difference with installing this panel on the front is that it's got the head-on wind to contend with while driving. So I used some extra wide Gorilla Tape to bend the panel round a little bit over the front of the van. I also used a little bit of Sikaflex under there, so the tape will pull the panel down onto the Sikaflex and adhere to that if the tape's ever to fail. Okay, so that's all the dirty work done, all the Sikaflexing done. It's a bit messy, this black stuff, but hold it down anyway. So now I'm just moving on to the wiring, which these are all wired in parallel, so nice and easy. Just join these two into the circuit. I might need some extensions for this one. I don't have any MC4 connectors, so I'm just going to I'm going to solder them all together, which I've heard you shouldn't do actually, because apparently the solder can melt, but I can't see that happening. I just can't see that happening. So I've just extended these cables. I've just put this down temporary for now, just to hold them in place. These cable tie mounts are a good solution for a permanent holding of the cables, although I'd advise not to use the adhesive backing that comes with them. Use something like Sikaflex to hold them down. You can find these on mykit.com, where there's a link to in the description. And I've got some extensions here, and this is copper solar cable, which, you know, I'd recommend getting the copper over the alley, just for efficiency reasons. And then I've got some joins, some previous joins here and here, where I'm just going to tap into that. I just think it's going to be a little bit awkward soldering up here today with a blowtorch because it's windy. Okay guys, hope you found that useful. Is obviously not really fully in depth, but to be fair, with these flexible solar panels, if you're going to attach them like that, it's pretty simple stuff. You can use the eyelets at each corner of the solar panel, and you can use, you know, screws or bolts, but you know, if you've got the option to just stick something into your roof, you don't really want to be drilling holes and screwing stuff into your roof for no reason. I'm actually going to do a video on calculating your system requirements. I've been learning a little bit extra about like solar panels and this sort of stuff recently. I do have some calculators at the moment, which they're available in my ebook, but I think I'm going to make them available free on my blog, so I'll put a link to that below. And then I'm just going to add another maybe 1 or 2 calculators to that, but the video will be in depth on exactly how to calculate your requirements of your solar panels, your batteries, anything you're going to need. Okay guys, right, see you on the next one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and ding my bell, because you won't even know if I've uploaded a video otherwise. Cheers guys, see you on the next one.